Everybody, so transfer has come and gone. I'm back home. I am safe. I appreciate my small town of 20,000 people, my speed limits of 20 to 60, and no traffic. So, transfer was set for November 2nd. My husband and I flew to California on the 1st, and we got there around, I think, 6 o'clock. We waited for a little bit, so we didn't want to take an Uber. We've never taken an Uber. I didn't want to deal with Uber. I've been told it's easy, but we just didn't want to do it. So we waited for our intended parents to pick us up, and they took us to this restaurant called Houston's. It's amazing. But yeah, the atmosphere was amazing. The company was amazing. We caught up with a few things, talked about, what we've been dealing with, what they've been dealing with, the, transfer, all that stuff. So after a while, transfer was set for 7 o'clock in the morning, and we had to be there at 6:30. So we had an early morning ahead of us. So the parents took us to the hotel. We went straight to bed, and then we woke up. They picked us up and took us to the clinic, which was, it wasn't bad. It was like 10-15 minutes away or something like that. And then you walk in, and it's super nice. Like, they have like amazing, I love the chandeliers. There was like sparkly, like a backsplash or something by the receptionist desk. Well, they didn't even open until 7:30. The receptionist place wasn't even there until 7:30. But we had to be here at 6:30. So we sit down. There was like one other person just sitting and waiting. We didn't see anybody working there. And so we sat there, talked. I made sure I had my consent forms filled out and all that stuff. And 30 minutes later, they say my name in the hallway. And I'm like, oh, it's time. And so my husband and I went back to the procedure room. All we did at first was I had to switch into their socks and get into undress from the waist down, put the cover up on me, and then the doctor came in. We signed the consent forms. He just went over it and what it meant, blah blah. Said that we're transferring one, and which is weird because I've done 3 transfers. The first one failed, second one took, and now this transfer is with another intended parent. And the first time I transferred, don't judge me, we transferred 3. They weren't the best quality, but we transferred 3. None of them took. And we transferred 2 on the second one, and only 1 took. And then, which I've heard that, like, nowadays I've heard that, back then I hadn't heard this until just now, but I heard that the more you transfer, it's kind of like, well, first off, you're not getting a better chance of getting pregnant, you're going to get a better chance of getting multiples. And second, like, if you transfer, say you transfer 3, and one of the embryos don't make it, well, it actually, I guess it's like an apple. Like, if you put apples together and one apple rots, it makes the other 2 rot. Well, that's how it is with transferring. Like, if one doesn't take, it lessens the chance of the other 2 taking. So we transferred 1. I took my Valium when we were in the waiting room, and then the doctor came in, and all of a sudden one doctor turned to 2 doctors. Like, the room was spinning, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I think the Valium's kicking in. Which, not everyone gets prescribed Valium, but I asked for it because I was told that the uterus contracts sometimes, and it's not good for the transfer. And so if you take Valium, then it calms the uterus down. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if my uterus is calm, but I'm super calm. So then the doctor came in with the intended parents. They sat up north. They weren't down south. No one needs to be there except the doctor. And the embryologist comes in, make sure that the name matches the parent's name and the surrogate's name, make sure they're putting the right embryo in. And then it was super quick. Like, the procedure itself takes maybe 2 minutes. They make sure you're laying down, you're calm, collected. They have like nice music playing. The doctor's like, okay, I want you to think of, just be real calm. And then, which kind of made me want to laugh. But So then I just lay there, and the doctor takes the catheter that is holding the embryo and puts it in, and then you can see on the monitor that there's like, you can see the catheter going in, and then you can see the you don't really see the embryo, but all you see is white. So that's where the embryo is placed, and then they take out the catheter. The embryologist brings it to the next room, and we wait in this room, and then the nurse is waiting for the call from the embryologist to make sure that the catheter is indeed empty, just to make sure that, yes, the embryo did get transferred. So she gets the call like a minute later, and she hangs up the phone. She's like, okay, all good. So the doctor leaves. We sit there and talk for a couple minutes, and then I'm told that I can go get dressed and relieve myself, like I can go pee. Those were the sweetest words I've ever heard. And so, and it's funny because I know it's not possible, but you just always think, am I peeing out the embryo? Like, I can't push too hard. But I'm sure everyone thinks that. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just weird. But anyways, and so I went to the bathroom. We made sure we could leave. And then after we left, they took us back to the hotel. They did their thing. I didn't have any bed rest rules, but I wanted to make sure, like, I had light activity. Like, I stayed in bed all the time. So that whole day, all we did was stay in bed. And then the next morning, we wanted to fly out the next morning on Friday. But come to find out, it was going to be $500 more expensive if we flew out on Friday instead of Saturday. Weird, right? So anyways, we weren't able to fly out until Saturday. But the intended dad did pick us up, take us around town, all around town. I mean, anywhere you could think of. We went to the Hollywood sign. We went to the City Walk in Universal Studios. We went to this, I forgot what it's called, but it's a little tiny park that has like lotus flowers growing in the pool or the pond, and it has like a waterfall. It's really pretty. We went to, where else did we go to? Malibu Beach, and then we ate there. Burgers, amazing. And where else did we go? We went to Beverly Hills, like Rodeo Drive, and saw all those crazy shops. It seems like there's one more place. I don't know. But it was like an all-day thing. And thank goodness the dad knows how to drive around town, because I was freaking out a little bit, but like, I knew that, stress isn't good and all that stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I'm calm, collected, he knows what he's doing, going 80 miles per hour, bumper to bumper, like, it's insane. I'm not used to that, but I knew he knew what he was doing, so I was okay. So, after that, he picked us up, I want to say about 8 or 8:30, and then we got home about maybe 7. Yeah, and so we took a lot of pictures. We had a lot of fun. The hospitality of the parents was amazing. Then we went back home, fell straight to sleep, and then Saturday we got to go home. So, and I was so excited, because not seeing the kids for like that many days was, my youngest is 6, so I didn't want him to miss us too much. So anyways, you can test, like, home pregnancy tests, whenever you want, the parents, I asked the intended parents if they wanted me to test. If they didn't care, they didn't want to know the results until beta, because I do have my beta blood draw on the 14th, and that tells you for sure if you're pregnant. So the dad said, yeah, sure, go for it. I want to know the results, but the intended mom didn't, which I get it. They've been through a lot of stuff. So, well, I know it's early, but day 3 I took it, and I'm thinking there's just no way I'm going to see a positive, but I wanted to start testing. And so I didn't really get anything, but like 2 hours later I went back and saw a line, so I'm thinking it was probably just evaporation line. And then day 4 I got, let's see if you can see this, a little line. It's a little faint line. And I was like, what? I see something. Day 4. And then this is today's Nice solid line. So definitely pregnant. But the thing is, I'm so worried. I've never had it happen to me. I've never had a chemical. I've never had a blighted ovum, I think it's called. But a chemical pregnancy is basically just a really early miscarriage, to where, yes, you do get positive tests, and they either don't darken, or they just or they actually get lighter, and so then that's a chemical. But then there's also a blighted ovum, which I guess you actually get positives, and then your beta is like average numbers or a little low. But then the next time you go in, like I think it's one more day later, you go in for a second one to make sure that it's doubled in the numbers. But on a blighted ovum, it actually decreases. So then you go in for like a 2 week, 2 weeks later, you go in for your ultrasound to see the heartbeat, and it's just a sac. So I'm worried about that. I've never had it before, but I guess like my last journey, at this point, I'm just like, yes, I'm pregnant, blah, blah, I'm good. And now this time I'm just like, I guess I know more stuff. Like, you see every day someone having a chemical, every day on Facebook someone had a blighted ovum. Like, it's a real thing. So I'm just nervous, and I probably won't be able to fully say I'm pregnant until I see the ultrasound. But I showed the intended dad, and he was excited. And I took a digital one on yesterday, day 6, and it actually said pregnant. And so I sent that to him, and he finally showed his wife, and his wife sent pictures to her friends and stuff. So they're super excited. I'm so happy for them. They've been through a lot, so they deserve this. I'll probably insert some pictures here somewhere. But yeah, so my beta is the 14th. So let's go beta.
All I need to say, life is so much more than what you think it